you can almost clean up an area. So you can take paint off. If you're working at home, sometimes just having a hairdryer nearby. When I go out, I've got, you know the things you use to take the paint off your windows? Blowtorch? I have one of those. The trouble is it dries the paper too quickly and the paint starts to... it's not that so much, although it does, but the paint almost fractures and it becomes like dust. So I've got a kind of a mapping colour then, and I can, if I want to, then just take some of those edges back off. So if I wish to, I can just put a bit of water on the brush. Yeah? You see the way it just sort of lifts some of those edges away. If I'm getting hard edges, I can take those back off. I might then think, actually, I want to just start to put some other tones. In here, and part of what I'm thinking is I'm quite interested in the way in which, and I've added some more purple and blues in there, so it gets a bit darker as I move around. Light. What I've tried to do with this section is say, here is the focus for this part, and I'm using a different colour here to almost say it's two parts of a different landscape. So I'm suggesting through colour that actually this is the boundary of this, and this is the street, and here is the internal space, and here is the kind of figure. And then sometimes what I'll do is, if I was letting it dry longer, I would work into it later. But what I can then do is actually sometimes just using something else. And the great thing about this is it's not Photoshop. It's not everyone doing the same thing. You know, the way I might do it will be different to the way you will do it. And, you know, hopefully we all end up with something just a bit more personal. And I think that's the problem. One of the things, coming back to kind of presentations, one of the things I've noticed in recent years is that a lot of stuff looks the same. You know, if you look in the design books and the design journals, it's been photoshopped to death. There's always little birds flying across. There's a little, there's little hot air balloons. There's someone holding a kite. And I think trying to find, I could do with a different colour. Let's try pink. It's not really what I want, but it could do. See where the water's wet and it's just picking up on the I'm scribbling here, which is never good. Now let's try. See, this is where I put on masking fluid. Yeah? So if I want to, I can then use these.
Are they normal pencils or watercolour pencils?
They're watercolour ones, these ones. They're Charisma colour. I don't know that they do them anymore. So by adding, get a bit texture into there, you start to get a kind of more focus on here. Well, actually, I've done the same there, so I just picked out. Oops, it's still too wet. Never mind. Two different parts of it. So, you know, sort of suggesting that the drawing might have two elements where there could be more detail is one approach. And then, sometimes even then just coming back and picking out some other tones. might be about partly giving the figure more prominence. In the drawing. And then sometimes people will just strengthen that line. To, so the section sits, this starts to then sit on it. So, that's what I would like to